All right, fantastic feats and enchanted objects. We're going to go over the two last categories of magic very briefly, though. So some operations are not categorized. They don't fall under the 6 results, such as the fantastic feats, in which the operator is able to perform powerful supermundane actions, including invisibility or resurrection, as a result of performing rituals. Remember, all of these are as a result of ritual. They aren't just powers that someone has. They're all results of a ritual. So boots to walk across the earth very quickly are the enchanted objects. And what are the enchanted objects? They enable advantageous results, such as goggles to see under the water or under the earth, lamps to detect treasure, boots that you can stride across water or stride across the land very, very quickly, and to get rid of varmints. Now, let's talk about the top one. Let's just run through these. So we do read about one ritual to create the magic boots that says, Om, reverence to the Lord who dwells atop the moon. To him, atop the crest of the moon, the top of the mountain, the tip of the sphere. This is Shiva. Reverence to the wide-ranging, swift-footed Lord, Hum Pat Swaha. You repeat this 3,000 times. Then you combine in equal parts the fat, eyes, intestines, and blood from a mina bird, also the bile and eyes of a crow, saffron and citron and fat, plus the marrow from a dog. This is all mixed together with camel milk. One should smear this on his feet and make reverences to Shiva using the mantra I just said. The aim of this technique is to go any place in the blink of an eye. He roams about the sky and sports like Shiva. All right, there's a wide range of rituals also to ward off these varmints. As I said, here's one. Having ground the shit from a civet cat and palm liquor, he smears it upon a rat. Where the other rats smell this, they will instantly leave the house and go elsewhere. When we think this is just because a civet cat, the smell of it being on the other rats and mice would cause the mice and rats to be afraid and they move forward. Now, what gets really curious and what got me started thinking about magic in the first place in my career was I was interested in rituals that bring the dead back to life. So we're going to read through kind of a long ritual that is the last ritual found in one of the texts. And I will once again note to you, or I will at least, do I make a joke about this later? I don't. But we've got walking across the earth, driving away pigs, or walking across water, driving away pigs, driving off varmints, and revivifying the dead. These sound quite like the miracles of sort of the wonder worker Christ type figures in the Hellenistic world. So people do argue often that Christ was a yogi. I see no instance of that, considering what we refer to as yoga, and even writing on yogic powers don't really start until the 4th century. So I don't think Christ went to India to learn his magical arts. But when you look at the miracles of Christ, they look quite a bit like the magical results of the rituals that I've described here, the non-aggressive ones, though he does curse that tree. But we can also see that while human consciousness might not be the same, we all look for similar things. And what is the greatest of all magical acts is bringing the dead back to life. So how do you bring the dead back to life? And if you're wondering about this picture, it's from my favorite horror movie, The Reanimator. And it's a guy reanimating another guy's head, and his body is behind him. He's coming after him. Well, it's a lovely little film from the early 80s. So revivifying the dead, or sanjivana, which is bringing life back together, is common and it's usually actually one of the final rituals in these magic tantras. So the mantra is Om, reverence to those beautiful ones, the terrifying ones, to those more terrible than the terrifying. Reverence to them all, reverence to the arrow-throwing ones. These are references to actually really old Vedic gods. Now listen to this. Next, under the Amkola tree, the operator worships a linga, so Shiva worship, and an unfired pot, and then winds a single thread around that tree, the linga, and the pot. 4 practitioners perform prostrations and worship using the perfected mantra. Then ripened fruits and flowers are gathered, cooked, and used to fill the pot. The pot is worshipped with sandalwood, flowers, and unbroken grains. Having removed the chaff from the seeds of the grains, he rubs them on the jar's mouth that is then covered with a large plate. That is likewise smeared with auspicious substances and dirt gathered from a potter's hands. Seed garlands are strung, so like strings of seeds, like Rudraksha seeds or prayer beads, are strung atop the pot. When dry, the copper pot is put on top and another one put underneath. Cook this in hot oil and save the oil. A half portion of that oil is combined with any equal parts sesame oil. After cooling, the oil is applied to a corpse, and the corpse will immediately return to life or go favorably to the land of Yama, the land of the dead. So they'll either come back to life or they'll have a birth into a heaven or a good rebirth. So they're hedging their bets a bit there. Those killed by snakes, disease, and the like will surely return to life. Bringing the dead back to life. All right, our final